I just feel like it was unnecessary. I'll just leave it at that. I feel like that was just like a random, unnecessary storyline. And also the way they was playing that thing out, they were like this close to like, I guess, swapping out couples or whatever, like swapping partners, and it was just a lot, man. I don't know if they were just trying to be steamy, trying to be more open minded in terms of, you know, real life dating or marriage situations that happen in the world. And I think the message they was trying to portray is at the end of the day, what works for one couple's marriage may not be ideal for another couple in their marriage. Hey, what's going on, folks? Another episode of Ryan Reviews Everything. And yep, you know what that day is. It is Thursday, meaning we have a couple episodes to talk about when it comes to BEL-AIR. And let's just get right into it. We are talking about episodes 7 and 8. Mainly going to talk about 7. If you come across this channel, this will have a few spoiler reviews. So if you haven't seen the latest episode, maybe stop this video and then follow up after you see it. And then let me know your thoughts. Yeah, man. This definitely was a lot, in my opinion, for a number of reasons. Let's start with Will first. I felt like Will and Carlton definitely kind of bumping head-ish and with episode 7 and 8. But more specifically in 7, they found out that the parents are going away. They're going to have the house to themselves, for the exception of the house manager, Jeffrey. So they make an agreement with Jeffrey's going to go out, kind of like an impromptu date night with his, mother of his child, while the boys have the house to themselves, all that jazz. In terms of that storyline in this, specifically in episode 7, definitely a lot of awkward. Wasn't the biggest fan of Amira with episode 7 and 8. Amira, I will say this. I really feel like I like how they portray certain characters. I really feel like certain people can relate to Amira, if you're being honest. Not the drug part, but in terms of like, I know things in my life aren't going the best. So in order to distract me from my own personal problems, on occasions, I may turn up on somebody else. How many times you go on Twitter or whatever social media platform and you see people getting bashed for the smallest things? I feel like Amira turned up a little too hard when it came to Will Smith on the show, like more specifically calling him out in front of Lisa, calling him out in front of Jackie. When they played the game, what's it called? Heal or Reveal. She's saying, Will don't really pick a side. He likes to straddle the fence. Lisa ain't doing me any favors either when she was like, well, I did apologize just to try to ease the tension of Jackie coming, which was also awkward. Like, nobody invited Jackie, but their homeboy, the co-worker at the country club, was like, hey, I was off work, Jackie was off work, so we both just pulled up. I didn't think it was going to be a problem. But no, I really felt like Amira was trying to distract herself from whatever personal struggle she has going on by really turning up on Will and calling him out. I guess her point was trying to say, he be playing in front of Lisa's face sometimes, and all this type of stuff. So it wasn't the biggest fans, and you can see Will felt the exact same way. Carlton is, and I know we all been guilty of this as well. Carlton is just like, hey, I love her, so I'm gonna look past any type of faults that my girl has. We're all not perfect, which I get. So yeah, that's how that storyline went in terms of episode 7, and also with 8, of course, the big reveal is we found out that Amira is still struggling with drug use. I don't know, man. I really feel like I'm on the fence when it comes to Lisa. Don't call me out about like I'm Will the character, but I guess if I have to choose it, man, I don't think Lisa did anything wrong, man. If anything, it would have done more harm than good if she didn't open up to somebody about Amira is still on drugs. So of course, clearly something's on her mind. So she fesses up and tells Will about, hey, Amira's still on drugs. I found a vial of that white girl in her bag. And then, but Will telling Amira, that might have been, I don't know, that part, I don't think he should have shared that part. Lisa opened up to Will about what's bothering her. Cool. Will circling back and letting Amira know about it. I'm not the biggest fan of that. Will could have held it down, and if anything, tell Carlton, not Amira. And that was so cringy as well. The whole black cess pitch at the beginning. Oh, that made me so uncomfortable. And then of course Carlton saves the day. And of course, they ultimately, all three of them, end up saving Amira's life as she still is struggling with drug use and so forth. So yeah, man. Overall, Amira's cool as a character, but definitely wasn't the biggest fan of Amira from episode 7 and 8. Also, we definitely see things are still moving forward with Hillary and LaMarcus. Of course, I think that's kind of predictable. Don't know when, but she probably still is going to end up with Jazz some way, somehow. Felt like it was a come and go storyline with Hillary and LaMarcus for that matter. Especially if you notice, they weren't even in episode 7 at all. They were more so in episode 8. So open shut case with that. I guess the biggest thing that really shocked me, I guess it's for lack of a better word, is the Uncle Phil and Aunt Viv storyline. They go into vacation, which is much needed, especially after that heart to heart they had on their anniversary dinner, and especially because it's just a lot of stress with juggling a lot of stuff, putting their marriage and relationship on the back burner for all the other great black excellence things that Phil and Viv do, right? So they go to the thing. I know you saw it. It ends up turning to be like a couples trip, or 3 couples. LaMarcus's parents, of course, Phil and Vivian, and there's some third, couple that they just so happen to run into, and after the wives hang with the wives, husbands hang with the husbands. Of course, you got alcohol and talking gets involved, and we found out that third couple they run into is in an open marriage. They on some swinger-like type of vibes, stuff like that. And also, apparently, which, of course, you can't just book that by surprise. I mean, you can't book that and not be surprised. Apparently, they booked some clothing optional resort, which also kind of was like, all right, man. They booked some clothing optional resort where you see folks with them things out. They got breast out and so forth. You got Aunt Viv just being like, when in Rome, I'm going to go topless as well. It was just a lot this episode. And of course, I understand the spinoff is its own thing. Hell, you got Jeffrey going from butler to house manager / James Bond. Hillary is not an airhead. So I understand these drastic changes. But I don't know. There's something about flirting with the swinger idea with the Bankses, the husband and wife. Something about that just felt like, oh, don't mess up the wholesome black excellence couple of Uncle Phil and Aunt Viv. And I'm not saying if they did go go hard with the swinging thing, that's would have ruined it, But it was just like, I just feel like it was unnecessary. I'll just leave it at that. I feel like that was just like a random, unnecessary storyline. And also the way they was playing that thing out, they were like this close to like, I guess, swapping out couples or whatever, like swapping partners, and it was just a lot, man. I don't know if they were just trying to be steamy, trying to be more open-minded in terms of, real life dating or marriage situations that happen in the world. And I think the message they was trying to portray is, at the end of the day, what works for one couple's marriage may not be ideal for another couple in their marriage. Because as you noticed, if you saw episode 8, they go into this swinger couple's room for a nightcap, and when they leave and you listen to the dialogue, it's like, oh my goodness, I can't believe we almost really went all the way with that. So it's like, did you go all did you like half-heartedly make out with like the other couples and been like, this ain't for us? Like, what did that mean? Of course I'm paraphrasing, but it was something to the fact that they didn't fully engage in whatever type of open-mindedness, swinger-like things was going on. But once again, I'm rambling on too much. I really do feel like the main idea of it was just to highlight what works for one couple may not necessarily work for another one. and they did it in like a non-judgmental way. So I guess, for creativity, but just to spare my childhood of what Aunt Viv and Uncle Phil stand for, I'm glad they're not full-fledged going into this swinger angle. That just would have threw me off. That's just my opinion. But overall, man, episode 7 and 8 was dope, and I'm hoping, I'm imagining that they're gonna have, this is a 10 episode season, because episode 8 didn't necessarily feel like a finale necessarily. And also, I'm still having my fingers crossed. I know Ashley has this non-binary flirty thing going on with this new guy on the scene. I'm really hoping and praying that she don't have any type of ether-like bars for the Banks family household. I don't need Ashley to bar her family to death and air out all types of dirty secrets and all that type of jazz. And I will end it with this. It turns out that Uncle Phil did not want to be on the wrong side of history, and he seems to back out of this gentrification deal that his client was trying to do after they read the contract, and like all the stuff that Uncle Phil was trying to rationalize with the people wasn't going to come true anymore. I think one part of the contract was saying stuff like, this revised contract, we're not going to, hire black vendors. I'm paraphrasing, but it was like, what word he used? It's like death by all these small little, changes in the contract. And once again, I think one of them was like, once the gentrification happens, they're not, they're no longer promising to like hire black vendors to work this area, just stuff like that. So there's that. And I swear to you, I don't think I am far-fetched from saying this. I really feel like these past couple episodes is going to be like this origin story between the beef between Uncle Phil and Jazz. It come to find out Jazz was involved in vandalizing the client's construction property with this whole gentrification thing. And we definitely see, and towards the end of episode 8, Uncle Phil finds out that Jazz was involved in that and that he's locked up. So I wonder where that goes. But so far, I'm loving the season. Once again, I am so grateful that no one is, at least for now, they're not moving forward with this swinger thing with Aunt Viv and Uncle Phil. That's my biggest takeaway. And yeah, man, love to hate it. That's my opinion. Let me know your thoughts. Peace.